Wel, shwmae pawb and croeso coginio ar hyd. Hello everyone and welcome to the Cook Along. My name is Richard and today we're going to be making some delicious easy pizzas, Pizza South, which are wonderful as a healthy snack but also can be eaten cold, maybe when you've been out for the day, as a healthy packed lunch or even as a nice picnic item. Just as with all of our cook-alongs, please make sure that if you are going to be cooking that you've washed your hands before you start doing any cooking and you've got a nice clear area to do your cooking in, and make sure that you've got an adult to help supervise you popping things in and out of the oven. So let's get started. I've already washed my hands before I started this film, and we're going to start today's cook along by doing some knife skills, some skilliau cutlet, and we're going to add lots of vegetables to our easy pizzas, which means that that's going to help towards our 5 a day. So I've got some tomatoes just there, some little cherry tomatoes. You could use a large tomato instead if you wanted to. I've got some pepper, and I'm going to have 4 slices of pepper today. I've got some pupur coch, some red pepper, and some pupur melyn. I'm also going to be using this little monster just here, which is a spring onion, or yng Nghymraeg shibon, or if you're up towards Merthyr area, you might know them as gibbons just there. And we've also got a madach, or a mushroom, which I'm going to prepare. So that brings me nicely onto our skilliau cutlet, our knife skills, and you've probably got lots and lots of different knives available in your kitchen area. I would always be advising, if you're a younger person, to choose a nice small sort of knife. I particularly like, I'm hoping you're able to see that, I particularly like these little knives that have got a nice serrated edge just there, which means that we can't chop with our knives, we have to saw, or in Welsh, llifo. For any younger people that might be watching, I also particularly like this little dog knife with teeth, and you can see it's like a little sausage dog. There's his nose, there's his tail, and he's got those igam sort of teeth just there. Or we've got these little plastic serrated knives as well, which I found online. But I'm going to show you with my little cutlet finiog just here. And as I've said just previously, make sure that because it's got that serrated edge, or even if you're using a flat edge, make sure you're not chopping, make sure you're saw, or llifo. So I'm going to teach you 2 knife skills today. It's the bridge for cutting something in half, and it's the claw for cutting things into little slices. So I'm going to start off with my little cherry tomato, and on our tomato just there, you'll notice that we've got a little dot. A little handy hint, if I put my dot down, it doesn't roll everywhere. If I put my dot up, you can see it's rolling everywhere. So dot down, and then we're going to make a little bridge just so that I'm able to hold on to it. And what you'll probably notice is that I put my little pinky up as well. My little finger goes up, because what we don't want to do is to have this little finger wandering around, and every time you're sawing, you're stabbing your finger, right? So hands a bridge, pinky mass, or pretend you're posh. We're all posh in Wales anyway. Knife goes to the middle, and I'm hoping that you're able to see that. I llifo, saw. Thinking about safety, we always put a knife down on the table, cutlet out above, and then I've got my 2 little pieces just there. I can then cut those in half again. So hands a bridge, llifo, cutlet out above, chef taclus, tidy chef. And I like to push things towards the top of the chopping board, because then it means that I've got a nice clear area to cut. So hands a bridge, cut that in half, flat side down, and we're just going to hands a bridge, cut those in half, cutlet out above, tidy chef taclus. Then we've got our slices of pepper, and you can see that I've already taken off the sides. If you're preparing a pepper, it's always best practice to cut off the base of your pepper like that, then it's on a nice flat surface. Then I can cut around my pepper just like that, and you can cut off all the pieces, and that's the only part of the pepper that we are going to discard. As I said, I've already cut those into nice little slices, and then all we're going to do for this one is we're going to make a little claw. So to make your little claw, or cravanc, okay, it's hand out flat, fingers pushed together, your beast bout goes underneath, your thumb goes underneath, and then you curve your bysedd over just like that. Thumb at the back, fingernails pointing straight down, llifo, 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 saw, 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 saw. Try not to chop, right? Because we don't want that chopping action for these little vegetables. And then fingers as a claw. And the theory is that even if I touch my nails with the blade of the knife, because I've got that little claw, I'm less likely to cut myself. So thumb at the back, that's going to be my little guide. That's moving down whatever I'm cutting. Fingers a claw, llifo, 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 cyllell ar y bwrdd, chef taclus, those bits go up just like that, and I might just do this one as well, and then cyllell ar y bwrdd, I'll leave that one there, I probably don't need that one. And then we have got our mushroom. And mushroom in Welsh is a wonderful word. It's madach, okay? So I'm going to torri hanner first, cut my it in half first of all, using my little bridge, and then flat down the surface, and we just want little slices just as so. That goes onto there, and you can use whatever vegetables you want for your little easy pizza. These are the ones that I had spare in my fridge, and there's lots of recipes and lots of ingredient ideas available on our website for this recipe, and also on the recipe card as well. Then we've got our little spring onion, or shibon yng Gymraeg, and lots of people get confused about where they stop cutting and also where they start cutting, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice off my little rooty end just there. I have previously washed this, and I'm going to pop that into my little waste bowl. Then all that we're going to do is move your fingers up, and where it starts to feel like a rubber band, which is about there, that's when I'm going to stop cutting. In actual fact, I can remove that bit, so I'm going to prepare all of that spring onion, right? Then it's just a matter of that little fingers as a claw. So hand out flat, beast bow goes underneath, curve your bysedd over, and then you're just cutting all the way up just like that. And for this one, you will need to make sure that you're doing that little sawing action, so llifo, 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 to make sure that you are cutting all the way through. Because what I find is that when people are chopping, they don't go all the way through, and you'll end up with your spring onion all stuck together. So I'm just going to leave that over there, and I'll worry about that bit just like that. And that is our sgiliau cyllell all done, right? So you can see, if I hold that up, that I've got all of my vegetables nice and small, right? So just on thinking about our pizzas, I'm just going to move those over to the side, gwthio I ochr, and then thinking about our easy pizzas, you can make your pizzas from anything that you've got available, any type of bread that you've got available. I'm going to be making them out of these little wholemeal wraps today, but you could equally be using some thins, you could use some wholemeal French stick you can get from the supermarket, you could use a piece of sliced wholemeal bread, you could use a little muffin, you could use a wholemeal bagel, whatever you have got in the form of a little bread base. When you're thinking about your bread base though, always try to at least have the half and half, the half white and the half wholemeal, or if you quite like wholemeal bread, I really do, then choose the wholemeal version, because what that bread has got in it, more than the white, it's got extra fibre in it, which is going to keep us fuller for longer and also help to keep the food moving around in our bodies. So it's really important, along with the fruits and vegetables, to try and get a lot of fibre into our diet. So I'm just going to take one piece like that. Try not to break your wrap. I'll use that one afterwards. So I'm just going to pop those over there out of the way, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that straight on to my little tray. So this is going to form the base of my little pizza, and I promise you it's really, really, really tasty, because this will go crispy. You'll have that cheese that goes on top, and I promise you it's absolutely delicious. Now then, we have got to make our tomato sort of topping, right? And you've got a couple of options. You can either go down the route of using some passata with a little bit of mixed herbs. However, if you haven't got that, most of us will usually have some sort of tomato puree in the fridge or in the cupboard, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 and 2 teaspoons of tomato puree to my little pot, and you need between 1 and 2 sort of teaspoons per person, right? Then I've got some mixed pizza herbs just here. I got these from the local supermarket. I'm not going to mention where it was, Asda's, right? And they've got that lovely mixture of flavour. We don't need a huge amount, probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm hoping that you're able to see that just there. Then lots of people will just spread that over. I'm not keen on a thick sort of sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slacken it down with double the amount of water. So we've got 2 teaspoons of tomato puree. So using my maths, we'll need 4 teaspoons of water just going into there. And what that will do, it will just help to slacken it down, make it a little bit easier to spread out, but more importantly, you won't have that intense tomato flavour, right? You'll still have a nice flavour, but it won't be as intense. And you can see now that I've got a nice sort of thin-ish sort of sauce. So I'm just going to pop 1 and 2 just over there, and just like that. And then using the back of my spoon, I'm just going to spread it all the way over. Now I know lots of people, right, that don't like the crusts of a pizza. I know, they're really weird, right? But if you really don't like the crust of a pizza, okay, then all that you need to do is push your sauce all the way to the edge, just like that, right? However, I really like the crust of a pizza, and this little wrap crust is absolutely, because it goes really, really crispy, right? So you're just popping it all the way around, just like that. So I'm going to do half with and half without. So this is my half with just there, and I've got my half without just over there, right? So you can see I've done half with and half without, just like that. Then we've got our cheese. Now then, cheese, milk and yogurt is super, super, super good for us, right? But there's a recommended daily amount. The recommended daily amount of cheese is approximately 30 grams, okay, or 1 ounce, which works out at about the size of a matchbox size. So that is your recommended daily amount of cheese, right? But, okay, when we're thinking about our cheese, make sure that you try to choose a mature flavoured cheese, because you can use less of it to get that cheesy flavour. Make sure you choose a hard one, because you can grate it, and where possible, try to get a reduced fat cheese as well. And there's lots and lots of different ways of grating, and I've got 3 different graters just here. Right, and because I don't know which sort of grater you've got at home, I'm just looking at the camera, and I'm just going to move all of those over there, because we've got lots and lots of things going on and you might not be able to see. So I'm hoping that is better just there, right? So I'm going to be using this little rotary grater, which I'll show you in a couple of moments, but there's a couple of others that you might have at home. If you've got one of these box graters at home, please don't do what one of the adults would do in your house, which is get their grater, pop it over whatever they're cutting, and they go gratey, gratey, grate, because you're more likely to cut your fingers. If you have to use one of these, either if you're a very younger person, make sure you've got an adult to help you do that, or if you're a slightly older but younger person, right, make sure that you're following these instructions. You hold the top just like that, and then what you're going to do is you grate down, move away. Grate down, move away, grate down, move away. And what it means when you're moving away, it means that you're moving your fingers up, whatever you're cutting, which makes it a little bit easier, right? And you can see I've got my grated cheese just there. If you've got one of these oval but box graters, these are really good. You want the teeth of the grater, as I call them, the teeth just here, away from you, okay? And then you grate down, move up. Grate down, move up, grate down, move up, and that's giving you chance to move your fingers up just like that, and you've got your cheese just in there. However, I'm just going to use, I'm going to take a little slice off there because I'm not going to be too generous with my cheese. I'm going to use this little rotary grater just there. That goes in the top just here. I got this from IKEA, right? And it's fabulous. And then all that we're going to do is turn and turn and turn and tap. Try a throw, tap. Turn and turn and turn and tap. Try a throw, a tap. Turn and turn and turn and tap. Turn and turn and turn and tap. And you can see I've got a huge amount of cheese just there. If I hold it up in that angle, you can see that I've got that little mountain of cheese, right? And all I'm going to do then is just spread that over, just as so. You might think that that's not enough, right? But I can assure you it really is, because it will melt down just like that. So we're just going to pop that onto there. Then we've got our vegetables, right? So I'm going to pop my tomatoes just in the center. You will have a little bit more time to sort of prepare these. Just going to pop my tomatoes in the center just as so. Trying to make a nice little pattern, but I'm not doing very well. Then I've got my mushrooms. I'm going to pop my mushrooms around just like that, and you can make whatever sort of pattern that you want. I often do little happy face pizzas to keep me nice and happy when I'm having a bad day. There's nothing better than a little pizza wiener pappers, a happy face pizza. Then I've got my spring onion, and I'm just going to sprinkle my spring onion right around the edge of my pizza just like that. I've then got my peppers, which I can dot in between those little pieces just like that. You could add some sweet corn, you could add some courgette, you could add some aubergine if you wanted to, you could add red onion. There's so many different things that you could add to your pizza. I'm not going to waste those. I'm going to pop my tomato just there, and I'm going to pop those bits just like that. The last thing that I've got, and this is going to be my little bit of a treat. You could put some tuna on there, you could put some chicken. However, just in my fridge, just under here, I've got a little bit of ham. So all I'm going to do, some reduced fat and some ham. I'm just going to pop my ham just on the edge just like that, and that will cook down. It'll go nice and crispy. And I'm only using half a little slice, just as so, just like that, and you have got your little wrap pizza just like that. And that, I promise you, will cook in the oven, okay, for about 8 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. You could even pop that under the grill at low to medium sort of heat for 8 to 10 sort of minutes until the cheese has melted, the wrap has gone crispy on the sides, and I promise you it's absolutely blasses, yeah. So I'm gonna... You can see that my pizza has now cooked. It smells absolutely delicious, and if I hold it up, you should be able to see that the sides of the pizza have now gone golden brown, the cheese is melted, the vegetables are softened, and it smells absolutely molasses, yeah. Now I'm going to serve this straight away, and my tin is a little bit hot, so I'm just going to hold it just like that. I'm going to serve it on my little serving plate. You could have a whole one if you're having an evening meal, or you could share it with someone if you're having it as a little healthy snack. But I promise you, it is absolutely molasses yam. If you're going to be making these pizzas for maybe a picnic and having them cold, you could either make them with the thins, but they're even more ideal when you have them on something like a pita, or maybe a thin, or even just a slice of bread. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed today's cook along. I certainly have enjoyed showing you how to make this easy pizza. Don't forget that there's lots of recipes available on the Youth Service website and also Facebook page, as well as our website, which is cookingtogether.co.uk. I look forward to cooking with you again in the future, but in the meantime, cook in your happiness.